I stay with the heat even though I'm a sad boy. You better watch the way you breathe around me for that breath be your last boy. I've been drinking red, boy. I've been chopping down these birds, McCoy. No, I bet my rich in really 9 months. Overseas, kind of skin.
Disclaimer: this part will contain spoilers about the Black Clover manga series, obviously, so watch this and listen at your own discretion. Finally, let's finish off the series with a bang. We last begin with the attack on the elves, and ending it with Asta facing Licht and having a conversation with him, leading up to him reincarnating the souls of his brethren into artificial bodies. However, he used a lot of power, so he was knocked out while events followed as usual. When he awakes, he's met by the elves and is trying to figure out where to stand with them and trying to understand their struggle, of course, but he says he doesn't want them to work with humans if they don't want to. With this, he then goes to the Heart Kingdom, meeting his friends and getting filled in on everything. And as their training begins, we have a time skip of 3 months, in which during a tournament, Asta infiltrates the Wizard King's attack. All that stuff happens during this attack. However, they're fought off with Leywin staying while Asta, Fenrir, and Noelle go get a certain item. And there, they meet Nero, meet Conrad again, and Asta takes care of him again while everyone leaves. After their fight, Asta teleports out, meeting Yuno, heading to the Clover Kingdom, taking down Princia, Funny Bunny, horrible name by the way, and freeing the citizens. He's then met by the elves, the captains, and Leywin, who escaped the arena and band together to save everyone. "Sister, are those elves?" asked Reka. Quickly evacuating the Forsaken Kingdom, everyone in Hodge is being taken away by the elves, and she looks at her, nodding. "Yes, those are elves. I guess we weren't beyond helping them." "Oh, take them first." She hands the kids to Raya, who is surprised by how trusting she is. "Do you know a boy by the name of Asta?" "Asta? Oh, he lived here," said Lily. "Sorry if he caused you any trouble." "No problem. I actually owe him a lot." Tears and cracks, however, tear through the Forsaken Realm. Meanwhile, as Asta and Conrad would clash, Asta's ether dagger would meet Conrad's magic blade, pushing him back. "I'm not interested in having a naive boy's thoughts clouding my mind who knows nothing of the true world." He fires off a blast of fire at point blank, and Asta swings, cutting through this with his ether dagger while throwing it as it extends into a massive blade, stabbing Conrad through the stomach. Grabbing the ether blade, Conrad would rip it out, with Asta blitzing and appearing a few yards behind him. "I'm not naive, but you're not gonna kill my family, you bastard." Conrad is launched towards him by the delayed impact as Asta turns with a kick when he's met by a door which releases a massive rock. Asta's kick would meet the rock, however, and shatter it while he releases a pulse of gravity which knocks back the Wizard King. He then looks down to the skull, seeing Elisdokia already implanted in the vein, and he blasts down, beginning to be chased by attack after attack from many doors until he lands, as does Conrad. "Move!" With a blast of gravity, Asta sends him flying again before running and grabbing a hold of the blade. One chains then erupt, holding it to the skull. "Are you serious, Conrad?" Gah! He uses his brute strength to rip out the blade, and the force makes him leap to the sky as he then throws it aside, and the tremors will finally come to a stop. He starts falling, but then an angry Conrad meets him with a tackle to the sky. "You think beating me is gonna do anything? You'll just be doing the same thing that every other person has before you, unable to change what you want. You idiot, can't you see right now everyone else, commoners, nobles, are all working to meet one thing, the one thing trying to take away their happiness." As they rise into the stratosphere, Asta pushes him off, headbutting him as his pupils rise into his sockets and he bleeds from his mouth. "I never given a damn about assholes who do nothing but revel in their own status and importance, but I'm not gonna let them die. I can't be okay with wiping out everyone, Conrad, so I won't let you do it. You still do nothing." He attacks back with Asta taking out his real sword. "The hell is that supposed to mean? You brought back the elves, saved this country, and yet there are those who wish for your downfall. This country needs to be ripped apart and created anew. You take no actual responsibility, boy." Pushing him back, Asta hacks him up with multiple slashes and then thrusts, pushing him back with blunt force. "I won't give up. My magic is never giving up." With these words, he begins to rise, and chasing after him, Asta swings, hitting Conrad to the skies even more with a massive rock as he would cough up blood, feeling his body deteriorate more and more. "Doom's Gate!" A massive amount of gravimetric force is felt by Asta, who sees a blinding red light fall from a wormhole, which then slowly drops a meteor. One that, if dropped with the amount of power being put behind it, may destroy the world. You're a twisted man, Conrad. You don't need to destroy this country. We can build a better world. One where everyone feels happy to wake up, to not be ashamed to be who they are, commoner and noble. All you're doing is something you're going to regret. With these words, he holds his hand out, releasing a massive rune that begins to counter this dropping attack. The red skies darken, however, as Conrad screams using all of his strength. The world you're trying to build is impossible, Asta. All that power, and yet you still have no innovation. I will save everyone. I must. They need to know that this doesn't end here. Then how about this? Since you hate the Wizard King so much, and I agree with you, I'll make you a promise. You're right, I am being naive. I can't bring change without actually trying to make a difference. So I'll become the Wizard King. Now using both hands, Asta holds up the great weight, with Conrad again shouting that Wizard Kings can't do anything. And why now? Why? Because I realized I was being selfish. You're right. Ever since we were young, Yuno said he was going to be Wizard King. I was mad at him for it. But I wish I could have been that happy to chase after someone, to make my family live better lives. Magic can't fix everything, but I know it can bring everyone together. I'm not going to let you destroy what I built, Conrad. Not after all of this. I'm going to be the Wizard King. The meteor shatters, caving in with the massive pulse of mana, knocking out of Conrad his very soul and spirit as he begins to daze. Damn it. I really thought... But I'm not mad. Why is that? He looks down at Asta. That look in his eyes, massively different from before. He had true conviction now, and he realized something as well. Asta was right. Okay then, Asta. Become the Wizard King. Something like this will never happen again, Asta said. I'll make sure of it, Conrad. I'll make a world where no one will ever be driven this far. Naive to the end, I see. His astral body begins to fade, and he makes peace with this. He accepts that he has become the very thing he hates. But at least he sees in his last moments his companions, and he's surprised to see them here at all. You guys, you're still here. I see. The four of them all fade, having made peace with it all. At least those they fought truly wanted to make the world a better place. If people like that existed, then giving up on destroying everything was fine. Conrad wasn't wrong. This country does need to be renewed, but he went too far. He used to be a nice man. However, when he became Wizard King, his old squad members and his wife were killed by Rollis. He was plotted against. No wonder, said Yuno, that anger he had, it wasn't just for the sake of destroying everything. Yes, the same goes for all the kings. Edward faced the worst fate by far. He was simply a father at an orphanage. He wasn't even a mage. All those kids, they were killed. They are a byproduct of the Clover Kingdom. You said you were going to be Wizard King, right? How the hell did you... Since when? Asked Yuno. Since now. Consider it a promise, said Asta. I need to take responsibility for all the things I've done. Man, that sounds so boring. Only you could complain about such a bizarre situation, said Leywin. Whatever, I'll help anyway. Sorry, Yuno, your dream just got a little harder. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna be the Wizard King, damn it. I'm not saying it back, said Asta. Shut up and fight me then. When did you get so hyperactive? It's because you keep flip-flopping. Now fight me. As he flies off, Asta says they can do that later, and Yuno chases him, telling him to come back. Bell, full power. Man, he's really serious. You know, I swear. Firing a spirit storm, he chases him to Hodge as Julius is left laughing. We're gonna have to do a lot of work, huh? Time skip 3 months, let's say. The immobile fortress of magic, codename Candelo, moves within the borders of the Heart and Spade Kingdom. Groans and moans and screams are heard from within, with dark disciples watching as people gag on the floor, feeling their life force be drained. Next group up. The draining chambers are open, with those waiting for the same procedure to enter, but of course they're terrified to do so. Please The girl hardly has any magic. I'm begging you, have mercy. Staring down the girl who just said this, a disciple grabs and pulls her in when his arm is vaporized. Everyone's eyes widen, with all the disciples getting so scared they begin to sweat immensely, and slowly they turn to see Asta right beside said disciple who had just lost his arm. With a smile, Asta would ask the girl if she was okay, and she would nod, completely starstruck. You know, I've been watching this for a while, so sorry to say, but these people aren't real. Those who had just gotten drained of magic begin to crumble and turn to dirt, completely shocking everyone, as outside the fortress, the actual people who had their spots swished, with the little doll, stand in Noah's Ark, from which Fernal would open a portal, allowing everyone else who was just saved to arrive on board. Welcome everyone, worry not, you're all going home. As they slowly make their way aboard, two massive hands reach up from below, grabbing and crushing the fortress like paper mache, as Asta slowly rises to land on the ship, which begins to move towards the Heart Kingdom. Thank you so much, you saved our lives. It's gonna take a while to retake your homes, but our friends should be finished with that by now, said Fernal. Just then, we cut to a village first off. A nearby village near the borders, we see a claw of lightning rip through a dark disciple who falls as Luck pulls out his claw when he looks up, seeing Magna, Zora, and Leopold run over. I think that's all of them, said Magna. Yo, Asta. He takes out a communicating device with Asta showing up hologram style, and he says, copy that, start operation, get everyone back home. Yeah, you need to work on your naming, said Zora. All that matters is execution. Let's do this. Woo! As he calls, the cutout, Leopold says, I noticed you've become way more hyper since the Wizard King attack. Yeah, because he's trying to become Wizard King now. Asta with the goal is the most terrifying kind of Asta, said Luck. With their attack for the past month, the Glory Kingdom and the elves have worked together to bring actual change. All the conquered land and everything that was in the possession of the Dark Triad has been taken back and rebuilt by many of Asta's golems. Speaking of golems, the one that Asta left at home has been upgraded. Making its way around the house, the golem now looks less like a rock and more like an android with an actual face, features of a human, and it notices someone on their front porch. This man is someone never before seen in Hodge. As Lily hears a knock from outside, she opens the door to see Mal holding Ralph, and she's surprised. Bring him in. With a nod, Mal brings him in, laying down the man who was clearly injured, and we cut to the Black Bull base, which the others arrive at via Noah's Ark, and the ship lands, crumbling to the ground and returning to Mother Earth. It's been so long, said Asta. He runs for the door, opening to see Gauche, Vanessa, Gray, Henry, and Gordon. You're back, said Gordon. Entering will be Magna and Asta only, however, as everyone asked where everyone else was, obviously. They stayed at the Heart Kingdom, said Asta. We cut to the Heart Kingdom, and considering all that happened, everyone is actually quite happy. As a matter of fact, the elves have now officially become citizens of the Heart Kingdom. They feel very at peace there. It's nice to be within nature, and they honestly just cannot deal with the Glory Kingdom still. They are extremely still corrupt. Meanwhile, in the palace of the Queen, Gaja, Mimosa, Charmy, Noelle, they're all having a laugh, and it was a moment that Gaja wished lasts forever, but the face of little Petrica switches to a much more serious one. Undine, show me the kingdom. As the voice of the spirit echoes through the room, she shows herself before them, and then shows the surveillance of the kingdom through screens of water, leaving everyone shocked when they see dark disciples have arrived. However, little Petrica brushes this off, creating a map using her water creation magic, allowing them to see exactly where they are. In total, there are 12 of them all over, said Noelle. Doesn't matter, it's just a bad data attack. Also, they're underestimating us, it seems, said Gaja. What arrogance. Outside, meanwhile, filling the skies with light blades, Lake would rain these down on their enemies who trespass onto the borders, vaporizing them. Meanwhile, Luck finds a region where he faces down an enemy. Citizens run in fear as their homes have already been damaged, destroyed, and that very same man turns with a face of ecstasy. Master Little Petrica is going to be so happy with me. Oh, you bastard. Instantly entering a new form, Luck gets in a running stance, flashing past the disciple, who gets a hole punctured in his stomach, and he now possessed the same form he had when he became an elf for a while. And as he comes to a stop, however, he hears laughing and turns to see the man regenerating. This is the power of Lady Vanica's love. Luck, however, instead simply holds both his arms forward, smiling. Oh, this is gonna be fun. What did you just say? Through him, a flail of lightning rips him apart once again, but thus seeing behind him a clone of Luck, who, as he watches the disciple, catch himself almost barely, says, "You can come back as many times as you want. In the end, we'll just keep killing you until you stay down." The same occurs with Charmy, Leopold, and all the elves. They evacuated the people to Elysia using a portal and then began an assault, putting the elves on the back foot. From the crevice near Lolopechika's castle, or I guess her own hanging out spot, Vanica herself is forced out, laughing as Noelle drives her into the sky with insane force. "Stay away from my friend!" She releases a point-blank sea dragon's roar when it is torn by a blood-red beast, and Vanica stops laughing. Was that little snake supposed to be tough? I thought you were going to show something interesting. Pulling back, however, Noelle says she talks too much right as the devil finds herself flash frozen in an instant, much to her shock, and Noelle blows past her, shattering her corpse to pieces while it was still inside the ice. What just happened, thought Vanica? I was told she had water magic. How is this possible? She's so fun! Noelle turns and watches as she reconstructs herself in the most grotesque way, releasing her 50% form, and with it a massive amount of steel spears covered in blood move past her at the speed of sound. However, Noelle charges forward to meet all these attacks head on. "Oh, you and me are gonna get along very well," shouts Vanica. "I'm really glad Asta taught me this technique. Who'd have thought ice magic was possible?" Using the same concept Asta uses to sometimes use ice magic, Noelle can create ice by absorbing the mana of the moisture in the air or the mana in her own water, leaving it below temperature levels of cold. With the swing of her revolving sphere, Noelle knocks away the spears that are coming at her and taps Vanica, who is once again frozen in an instant, but the water begins to not only envelop her but blind the devil, purposely of course, and when she manages to escape it again, she feels very tired. Did she absorb my mana? That tricky little... She now floats in water, however, and within these waves feels an explosion of mana as the water becomes clear, showing Noelle in Saint Stage Valkyrie armor, having combined with Undine with permission from Lolopechika. From below at the crevice leading to her area, Lolopechika does not plan on losing and has erected her mana zone, which they are currently fighting in. Water Spirit Magic, Ludic Sanctuary. Behind her, we see the tongue magic using Apprentice trapped in a cube, not just any cube, a cube of ether. It wasn't Asta's static void, but it was something similar to it. By combining Zora's trap magic with ether, Asta was able to create an item, and Mimosa was able to use it on the apprentice, thus leaving him nothing but a normal human, unaffected by the powers of the underworld, because Asta's magic affects causality. It's like he never became a disciple at all. What happened to me? Let me out, you bitch! Oh, and here I thought you were a gentleman, said Mimosa. Shut up. Those who have this item, of course, use it on the disciples as well, rendering them so weak that it only took the most basic attacks to kill them, because they're all weak and they just rely on the power of devils. Like, they legitimately suck. We see Raya walking and dragging the woman with hair magic, before then throwing her into a pile of disciples right as Luck flashes over, throwing over his beaten enemy. Wow, these guys are really weak, huh? I guess we can go help out Noelle now. He then looks to the massive water sanctuary, but it seems they won't need to because Vanica, even at 80%, is getting dogpiled, absolutely bodied. She couldn't even keep track of Noelle, who moved in the water, leaving her scarred, shredded over and over. And Noelle said, "You're gonna die right here." Meanwhile, at the Golden Dawn, Yuno steps into the room where the battle between his captain and Zenon was taking place, and he was horrified when he entered. "Captain Vengeance!" The room was covered in bones, having Vengeance strung up like a trophy, with Zenon opening a portal when he then closes it upon seeing Yuno. "I don't have time for you." As he blinks, however, Yuno is gone, and he turns, firing a bone sword at the boy, who had just grabbed Vengeance from his grasp and created around himself a sphere of wind, which grinds the bones to dust before expanding, forcing Zenon to teleport away and landing to the ground. "Let me guess, you were about to go get Asta? You're quite keen." Bell at that moment then shows up, plunges into Yuno and his magic ripples, transforming him into his Saint Stage form. "You've committed a grave sin, bastard. You're about to get a reckoning. Mana Zone." As he expands his own zone, so does Zenon, trapping the boy in a cube of domination. However, he finds himself pulled away and struck from behind by some force, of course being wind, and he coughs up blood. Using a wind vacuum, Yuno was able to use a reversing force to pull him in, then attack him at the same time, shredding him from the inside damn near, and almost killing him in that one attack. My magic domination isn't working. He has more magic than me. Yuno lands, putting down Vengeance, creating behind him a massive ball of chains as he thinks back to when he lost to Revchi. As these chains shoot out, they pierce the sound barrier, with Xenon dodging and getting scratched, entering 30%, and then he would release from behind him massive bone tendrils that begin to clash and hack at the chains, leaving them in a back and forth, with Yuno not letting a single bone near his captain. He's absorbing my mana. What is this method? In case you were wondering, said Yuno, how I'm doing that, just call it the Ashura method. That's what my annoying brother calls it anyway. He increases the release of chains, overpowering the bones and nearing Xenon, who with an upward swing cuts them, showing to be holding a bone blade with an edge of space covering it and converging onto it, as he then slashes forward while moving with incredible speed, appearing beside Yuno, who turns, striking with his palm and releasing a blast of a spirit storm, which surprises Xenon. Before he can teleport, however, he's held still by the chains and gets enveloped as he screams in pain, crashing through the hole in the castle made by the massive blast. Sorry about that. As the beam dissipates, so do the chains, and Yuno flies out, creating his sword of Zephyr and heading for Xenon, who instantly goes 60%. I've let you believe you're a match for me, it seems. You're not. What you're using isn't your own power, it's a devil's. You disgust me. This remark really pisses out Xenon as he creates another cube and creates portals surrounding Yuno, releasing from them these massive amount of bones, and as they continue their fight, we will cut to Dante. He was actually not at the Black Bolt base. He was still at Spade, tapping his fingers, annoyed that Xenon wasn't back yet. Why do I have to miss out on the fun because of them? He remembers Xenon saying to wait for him so they can go attack Asta together, him, Dante, and Vanica. However, Dante is a man of desire, and a part of him revolts. From outside, the very tower he is designated at is blown to pieces, with him flying through snow with the biggest smile. Maybe you can show me what it truly means to be human. A grunt is then heard as we cut to the Black Bolt base, where Libe in his giant form now sleeps at the front of the big mansion with his mere breast blowing down trees. However, his nap is interrupted. For Dante, it had been about 20 minutes, but that wasn't enough for Libe to take his nap, and he begins to sit up yawning and making Dante stop from just the mere dragon's breath being expelled. Ha! It's really a dragon. At this point, the Black Bulls run out from the sides of the dragon, with Asta landing atop Libe's head. You must be one of those three. You're late. With a smile, Dante cannot agree more, beginning to enter 50% right off the bat as everything quakes and the Bulls get ready for battle. But Dante seems flustered. Why isn't it? Are you trying to raise her base? Asks Asta. Yeah, that's not gonna work. As Dante gets confused, Asta flies forward and enters Ramhart, which is drastically different. His hair turns blonde, golden even, along with his eyes and his runes running along his body, and he holds his hand forward. I've been practicing a bit of gravity magic myself. The devil host is knocked away, with Asta chasing after, as Dante with the shout creates a singularity, throwing it towards Asta, who takes out from his storage his blade and thrusting it forward before swinging to the sky. Spatial series. The singularity is severed, leaving a massive gash that slowly opens up on Dante before he bursts with blood, leaving him shocked. You dare mark me? Lee, baby, you don't need the help, right? Asked Vanessa. Nah, he's got this. Asshat ruining my nap. Kick his ass for me. And Asta does so, knocking Dante to the floor, tearing cracks through the forest. But from the dust cloud, rocks turned to blades are launched at him. Asta dashes forward, breathing in and then shouting, Dragon's Roar! He would eradicate these attacks to nothing, and shows Dante taking the brunt of Asta's sound magic. Asta keeps this frequency and increases it even as his power only gets way too fucking strong to handle, and soon he stops and brings out his blade and then swings, clashing with the devil's convergence of gravity once again, but cuts through it again and hacking his torso again. Even though it had re-healed, Asta actually hit him in the exact same spot just to piss him off. Dante is left in so much shock that he freezes and Asta lands swinging down, flash freezing him and damn near the entire forest. Hi Ceres, hi Sage. Don't know what you were expecting, but raising that devil connection won't do anything, man. Showing up here alone was also literally the worst idea ever. As he taps Dante on the head, the devil host shatters along with all the ice behind as Asta pulls back his arm and swings forward, releasing a massive flash wave of flames, incinerating everything in sight, just to be sure that he was truly gone. The bulls meanwhile clap as if admiring a performer, but Ghost shouts, "Don't you think you went a bit overboard?" "Oh, definitely. Don't worry, we'll fix it." "Don't tell Captain." "Don't tell me what?" As he shudders, Asta looks up and he sees the seething Yami, who just arrived at Inferno, and spits out his cigarette, grabbing his blade. "You destroyed my forest, bastard." "Okay, in hindsight, I didn't have a choice, you know. Tell that to my blade." As he chases, Inferno floats down to the others, with Leywin taking a new form, a more humanoid one, wearing something unlike the commoners with a scarf around his neck and his horns still present. "I never get used to that guy. I mean, he busts his own house up all the time. Sorry, Henry." "It's okay." As Asta flies, avoiding Yami, he says that he'll just reverse it, and Yami stops, sheathing his blade. "Okay, just do that then. What's wrong with you?" "I was gonna, damn it. Listen to me." We then cut to Yuno, now holding his blade at Zenon's throat. His victory wasn't without some injuries, but in the end, he has won and protected everyone. The same goes for Noelle, as we find her and the elves encircling the devil host in a massive crater. "We trained for this, thought Vanica. This isn't funny. It's supposed to be me and Noelle, me and Little Pechka." Despite them actually preparing for these quote-unquote normal mages, they were beaten not due to sheer power, but due to the comprehension their enemies now had in magic, and it all came back down to one person, Asta. The Golden Dawn gather and they bring all their mana together as Alec helps up William, and the elves gather all their mana along with the other mages in the Heart Kingdom as well, and with one final spell they eradicate their enemies in one fell swoop, destroying the three Zagradus brothers, who are no longer the host to Megicula, Beelzebub, or Lucifero. The devils had lost. Or so it seemed. In the Spade Kingdom, a plan was brewing up. Morris stood in his lab facing 3 containers holding 3 clone bodies to the devil host, which shatter open and they fall out, heaving and gasping for breath, convulsing as their brains cannot take in all the information they just did. "We died," the 3 say. Looking at each other, the siblings realized their plans came crumbling down like nothing. From now on, they had to be more cruel. It was a defeat they needed to get payback for. "But we can't even open the gates now," said Vanica. "My little Pechka, my sweet little Pechka." "Oh, don't worry, we don't need those 2 anymore," said Morris. "It's not like we were gonna take them anyway, because Asta is here, but instead I figured out something else, because of our very own monster Asta. He actually helped a lot." "Oh really?" asked Zenon. "I guess someone forgot to listen and went after him alone. Even with us together, it wouldn't have made a difference. God damn it." "Don't worry about it," Morris says. "Like I said, we don't need them anymore. Before that, however, you 3 need to renew your contracts. I have a pretty good idea how to still open a door to the underworld." "What? But how?" shouts Little Pechka. It had been a few days since the devil's defeat, and Asta came back with some bad news. "There shouldn't be any other way," said Undine. "Just calm down. Now let me ask you this. What happens when negative magic, for example, interacts with a cursed spell?" "Negative magic?" asked Undine. "It's what I named the source after I encountered certain things. The point is, by converging the 2 into one powerful spell, for example, using negative mana from a devil, it creates a spatial spell strong enough so you could theoretically tear through dimensions like Captain Yami already can. And for Mr. Vengeance, it's actually very simple to find a substitute for him." "I don't like where this is going," said Little Pechka. "So, remember the time the Wizard Kings attacked and stuff, and they tore through the veins of our kingdom? Well, do you have any idea how many veins reside in Spade?" "Oh my god," said Undine. "That's exactly what I thought when I realized." As he makes himself known, Leywin lands with his full form. "Don't worry, this time we're gonna take care of them. For good. This is war." "Yeah, we're gonna win this time," said Asta. "We're the last of the Spade citizens today, so Inferno Senpai only has like a few minutes left and he should be gone. It'll be fine. And I estimate about 3 days before they attack us." "Alright then, no time to waste. We must get prepared," said Little Pechka. Asta, having already relayed this info to the Wizard King, was able to get his people ready for battle, and around the same time, Noct returned to his squad, letting people know what he could do to help them sneak in. So we'll have a time skip again. In the castle of Spade, a space of darkness warps open, and the group finds themselves rushing out into the Spade Palace, the place where royalty actually reigned rightfully before the Dark Triad came over and ruined everything. And these were the following people: Jack, Charlotte, Rill, Asta, Yuno, Fugolian, Noelle, Noct, Dorothy, Langris. Many more will follow. Alright now, follow the plan, Noct said. Asta, you're heading for the underground. With a nod and a step, he moves forward, creating a tear in space and running through it as the space will then close and everyone splits up, only for them to start feeling a rise in mana already? Yuno and Langris come to a stop, looking about just as these crimson pillars of light shoot out from below. It is very clearly indicated to them that these pillars are rising from the underground. That mana, yeah, they already began, said Yuno. We don't have time. A massive quake goes off as from outside we see the Black Bulls looking down a massive ancient demon. And in the streets, along with some elves and also some people from the Diamond Kingdom, we see Mars leading his people. The legendary ancient demon, he said. When Asta said this was serious, I never thought it'd be this insane, teacher. He looks to Kruger, who conjures into his hand a blade. Well, it's not surviving against her though. As the demon roars, a flaming punch slams into its face as it falls to the floor, and Merliona shows herself. Get ready, maggots! Just then, the rising pillars rise past them as well. A few will sidestep them, and from the castle, another explosion of mana goes off. Running out, hordes of devils already made their appearance, with everyone going full power and attacking them. The war has already begun, and it is a battle of cataclysmic proportions. Meanwhile, the ancient demon which resides at the Clover Kingdom is awoken by the same mana vein Conrad once tried to use, but instead of running for the kingdom of the Clovers, it came for the Spade and begins to run at full speed, shaking and spreading tremors while foaming at the mouth for destruction. It is not visible yet, so people of the Spade just focus on the devils before them and actually show a completely one-sided retort. Inside the castle, having entered the throne room, Yuno and Langris look about. When descending upon them, a pressure is felt like they had never felt before, and Xenon appears, falling from a gate. Ready to get your ass kicked again? Asks Yuno. The moment Xenon makes contact with the ground, however, he speaks with his actions instead of words and erupts into a new form, giving him the appearance of a devil. Just then, Yuno enters Saint stage. I didn't know he'd go that far. As far as selling his heart. How do you know that? Asked Langris. Asta told me it was a possibility. Go. If I have to watch out for both of us, we'll die. Alright, but you better win. As he begins to run out, Xenon lets him and instantly swings forward at Yuno, and in that very same instance, form his spatial blade in his hands with a sharp edge which contains the power of his spatial magic, obviously. He extends this blade into multiple sections this time, however, and it swings about like whip, which Yuno dodges barely and creates a bow he pulls on. It creates an arrow and fires, but Xenon dodges and appears behind him. No more tricks, no more playing around. You got me fired up, Royal. As their battle rages on, others face an issue in terms of these new power levels, and all the Zogarty's siblings have chosen to sell their hearts and very souls to become stronger. All for the sake of reclaiming their pride, they have become devil hybrids. Asta, however, isn't hung up on such things. So, you have ice magic and you have fire, huh? At the third to last level, before he reaches the underground, Asta sees before him Nama and Lilith. Devils who, in the presence of anyone else, would leave them damn near hurling and shaking in their boots, but Asta isn't doing such a thing. Move before I make you. A human trying to order us around. It's adorable, right? Let's see how he is when he's broken. As Asta's gaze hardens, however, he's told to stop. Leywin will show himself and enter his more humanoid form and lands, telling his brother to go. I'll kill these two and go help the others. You just forge forward, alright? Asta takes a moment and realizes why he said this. The Zogart's siblings are back somehow and got stronger. Those damn lunatics. Alright, thanks. See you at the bottom. In a flash, a blast of flames and ice, however, would part the room into two different environments. And though Nama and Lilith were aiming for Asta, he had actually already disappeared, leaving behind only his brother, who with his hands in his pocket says, "Fuck off." A resounding shriek rings and echoes into their ears, shattering the ice and blowing away the flames, and the devils slam into walls behind. I can't move, sister. Me neither. As they look forward, Libe approaches, and with every step, their hearts beat so fast they thought that it would jump out of their chests. Sound magic plus space magic plus time magic equals dragon tongue. I can't believe we used to belong to the same species, said Libe. By imbuing his words into frequencies, Libe has actually kind of copied Zagrid and learned to contort the world with words alone, and created one of the most OP magics only accessible to his type of being. I know you've seen this in a lot of fantasy stuff. It's the dragon tongue, the classic OP magic that every dragon has. Obviously, he has learned to borrow the abilities of Asta just like Asta has with him, and as for his brother, Asta is still met by a bunch of stronger devils. However, each is wasted like the trash they are, so they have to gang up on the human for the first time in their lives, and they start to feel fear just like Nama and Lilith. Thus, they bombard him incessantly with all types of attacks, but Asta just stands unmoving, holding before him a shield of ice, which continues to grow stronger and stronger as it absorbs their attacks before he then breathes in Ice Series plus Space Series, Jormungandr. It's not a flash or a blast, but an instantaneous freezing of every devil surrounding him in that instant. The same effect begins to spread to all the devils that are heading on his path, reaching lower and lower into the levels he was heading to. This ice overtakes every single floor, and with the song in his head, Asta whistles. His every step warns of oncoming danger for Morris, who won't get a chance to release Lucifero if he's beaten here. And just then, Asta reaches the basement and sees the terrified scientist, who asks, just what are you? That's my line, but I guess at this point it doesn't matter. Trying to understand bastards like you is useless, so I'll just end it. Morris in an instant is also frozen and shatters with just a gust of wind from Asta, who then walks over and looks at the seal that is planted, releasing more and more devils. And he sits down. He can feel the massive devils trying to force their way out, but he's not going to let them. Once again, a bunch of idiots have gathered to ruin the lives of normal people just because of their pride. And again, we're going to beat you every single time. These battles of life and death with family and friends at stake won't mean anything in the end. If I'm starting to sound like Father Orsi. Well, time to end this forever. With a strike of his palm, he releases a bright light which spreads, blinding us. That would be the end of it all. As he barges into a room, we see Klaus, who shouts, "Wizard King, she's done it again." As he raises his head, Asta now dons the cloak of the Wizard King, and upon hearing these words, smiles. She is the gay, didn't she? Don't laugh about this, Asta. God, I never dealt with so much. I bet even Sir Marks didn't deal with this. Don't worry, I already had Jin patrol, in case she left again. Ah, you're the worst. Let me down, shouts Lin. Lin is the child of Asta and Noelle, and the little sister of Jin, who is holding her by her clothes. He is older by 10 years and is currently 15. He has also just joined the Awkward Years a few days ago. Sorry about this, said Jin as he bows to the people of Hino country. It's okay, she's a sweetheart, but be sure to listen to your big brother. Yeah, he's pretty busy, Lin is left pouting, crossing her arms as the two would walk about heading to the shore of this island, and the seas were no longer black, they were clear, and as he stepped forward, before Jin rose a massive door, and at the top of it, a crystal, which opens up a portal, and from the other side, out walks Finro, now fully the grown man he always wishes that he could be. Hey there, you two. Uncle Finro. With these words, Lin tries to teleport to him, but is restricted by runes from Jin, who glares at her, and she truly just stops fucking around and is terrified. She apologizes. Oh, you're gonna be sorry, trust me. Lin will then freeze, hearing another voice as Noelle makes her way out, saying that this is the 5th time she's done this. You could have gotten yourself hurt. As Jin hands Noelle his little sister, he says that he hates having to babysit her all the time. If you want to play so bad, just wait. I'm off at 4 today. You are? I told you that yesterday. Oh, I forgot. With a sigh, Jin then walks through the portal, and Noelle would let down Lin. And at this point, the runes on her fade, and Noelle says, "Go ahead. You need to apologize, alright?" "Thanks, Mom." "Jin, wait, let's get some ice cream." "You have ice cream money?" As the two enter past the portal, they enter the Clover Kingdom, which has become even grander. And they notice overhead, most importantly, flying in like usual, Yuno and his guards, and both get excited as they take to the sky. Huh? A groaning Leywin opens up his eyes as he sits on a wide plain. This is simply an artificial world inside of Asta's grimoire, which he exits, and he enters his human form, now grown as well. Oh, it's you, huh, Yuno? He floats above Asta in his office, and then transforms to his more normal self, the chibi version, and just sits on the floor, sleeps again. And Yuno says, "Morning, Leywin, just came here to talk, you know." With a swipe of his hands, Asta raises a chair behind Yuno, who takes a seat, crossing his legs, and he asks, "So, how is it being a father?" Don't rub it in, damn it. Having kids is so hard. It's not like magic. I can't just understand. Nothing they do makes sense. But it's nice. Yeah. Oh, there they are now. Flashing out from a tear through space, Jin runs out holding Lin as they say hello to Yuno, who gets up and gives him a hug. Nice to see you guys again. Actually, come to think of it, we haven't had a festival in a while. Asta walks out from behind his desk saying that he hasn't had enough time, but he's going to make an announcement for something else. He kneels to his daughter and holds her hands. I have an idea. What is it? I'm going to create a magic academy. Not related to status, upbringing, no noble stuff. To help kids understand their abilities before they actually join the Magic Knights. Auntie Vanessa is going to be a teacher there. Really? So, yep, you're going to make a lot of friends. Sounds like fun, right? As her eyes light up, she hugs him, saying that he's the best. I'm going to be the best student ever. Yeah, and if she isn't, I'll just rain down some thunder. Don't worry, Dad. Thanks. You're joking, right? Said Yuno. Right? What did you fill his head with when I was gone, Asta? It'll be fine. He's joking. Alright, let's take a walk. Hodge is actually expecting me today. I figured we could go together. Sure thing. So, gate or... Nah, let's fly, said Asta. I barely get to stretch nowadays. In an instant, all of them appear above the castle from Asta's magic before he blasts off, and they follow right after, telling him to wait up. This is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I haven't posted this in a while. I really wanted to think about the endings. Endings truly matter to me a lot, because if an ending is trash, it won't matter if it was a good beginning. And yeah, the Gilgamesh What If will be coming soon, probably Sunday. Not today, I can't record it because I'm pretty tired, but I might record it when I get my strength back. I just need to sleep. Just got off duty. Alright, see y'all. Peace and thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like